Albert Owen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. This bill has been described as not for purpose. It's been described as a monstrosity of a bill, and I agree with both those descriptions. Indeed, that's one of the reasons why I will not be supporting it at second reading, because I believe it does undermine this sovereign parliament and indeed other parliaments in the United Kingdom and devolved assemblies. I do respect the result of the EU referendum. My constituency narrowly voted to leave, very narrowly, by some 700 votes, so I understand both sides of the argument. That mirrors the UK and indeed Wales in voting to leave. In the EU referendum campaign, I said I would vote for Article 50, and I did that because I accepted and respected that EU referendum. In the general election campaign of 2017, I said I would support a sensible Brexit, and I will, but not by bypassing Parliament. I told the electorate I would respect the devolution settlements in our country, and I will. This bill is enacted to replace the European Communities Act of 1972. A lot has happened since 1972, not least the setting up of devolved administrations by referendums and by acts of Parliament of this sovereign Parliament. So I think when we talk about taking back control to the legislators, it means just that, plural legislators. The competency need of those assemblies and parliaments need to be protected, and this bill does not do that. It talks about consultation, it talks about discussion, but it doesn't talk about respecting those devolved administrations. Whilst I'm unhappy with the replies I've received from government on issues about the Irish border and Irish dimension and how that will impact on Welsh ports, on Euratom, I led a debate on that. We need to have an association or alternative membership with our colleagues. It's not for those reasons that I'm voting against this bill tonight. It's because it undermines parliamentary democracy. And I will take no lectures from the Secretary of State for exiting the European Union or the government on delays or cliff edge or creating chaos, because as colleagues have said, that's already been done by the government. It spent months denying that referendum result and trying to deny this House from enacting the Article 50 through the courts, a costly process. It spent months this year having a general election that cost millions of pounds and delayed this process by many months. It's this PM who went to the country and said she wanted to increase her majority, to increase her mandate. She did not achieve that. She lost her mandate. She lost the moral authority to carry on as normal. I will give way.
I thank my honourable friend for giving way. Will you not agree with me that the Prime Minister being denied the mandate that she wanted for a hard Brexit is using this bill by another method to achieve that objective?
Yes, I agree, and as I said, she just thinks it's business as usual, but she's now leading a minority in this House, and it was her words that she wanted to increase that majority, to increase her mandate. She does not have that moral authority, or indeed the numbers in the House of Commons, and it's the government's arrogance that she wants to now rip up the result of that general election and ignore the will of the people and take away which has taken away that Tory majority. The other item I want to raise is the timetable motion, the programme motion, because I don't think 8 days is enough to properly debate these issues. We have hybrid bills in this House, very complicated ones, that have far longer to scrutinise those bills. So I think it is wrong. I think tomorrow the government want to actually rig the committees. So by transferring these powers from the European Union to the hands of delegated legislation, I think is a very dangerous step for us to be taking. The government is grabbing powers and putting it in the hands of ministers, and it's not respecting, as I said, the devolved administrations that have been elected by, set up by referenda and have been given powers by this House of Commons. The reasoned amendment in the name of the opposition, I think, is sensible. It is what I describe as sensible Brexit. It respects, for instance, the Charter of Fundamental Rights and puts it into UK law. And it takes sensible transition arrangements. And again, the government talk about a cliff edge and a timetable going. Well, if we had sensible transitional arrangements, which we talk about in the reasoned amendment, then that would be avoided. For those reasons, I'll be supporting that tonight. The will of the people in the 2017 election must be respected. The will of the devolved administrations must also be respected. It's time to go back to the drawing board for this government. For those reasons, I'll vote against second reading. I don't think it can be amended to the satisfaction of many of the members across the way, and they know it at committee stage. It's now time for this House of Commons and this sovereign Parliament to stand up and be counted on behalf of the people that sent us here.